taking over as he's going to be ready to retire. I believe he's 82. So I'm also a veteran with service disabilities, as well as will become a minority as I become the responsible managing officer of the company in the next few years. So Ken has been around doing hospitals from Southern California to San Francisco. We have an office in Seattle. We have an office in San Diego, Las Vegas, new office in Virginia. We have an office in Puerto Rico. We have an office in Guam and Hawaii. So we strategically place ourselves working with government agencies and working with the hospitals. That's mostly our. So we do all commercial. We do. Whoever wants to give us a job, we pretty much will travel and go anywhere. We've been to the Marshall Islands. We've been to China. We've been to wherever the contract was sent us to. That's what we do as veterans, and we work on HVAC. If you have a construction company or Southern California Gas, we would love to provide bids, proposals, or do consulting with you guys. We can offer a lot of, they had mentioned there's a lot of aging buildings, and with those aging buildings, we could come in and do services, extend the life cycle of your HVAC equipment, and then you're allowed to budget for that, extend that life cycle a couple of years, and then place it in the budget, because most of the stuff that we see HVAC, it needs to be replaced. That goes for the schools, that goes for commercial, that goes for the hospitals as well. So right now they're doing a lot of that. So thank you everybody. I really appreciate being here and all the wonderful faces, and my condolences as well to your comment. Okay?
Daniel, go ahead.
Good evening, my name is Daniel. I'm the founder of Kids Give to Kids and K-Spire. We've created the first website ever that allows kids to take their used toys that they no longer play with, upload them to the website where other kids can go and choose those toys for free all year long. We're trying to change the dynamics of less fortunate versus fortunate, making every kid equal based on choice. So kids can actually go and pick brand new toys for free, play with them by choice, put them back up as a used toy, and possibly become a giver for the first time in their lives. How that works is a kid can actually go, upload a toy, answer the questions. Once the toy is uploaded, then the kid can see that toy in the store with their name as the donor. Then once it's chosen, that toy stays at the house. Once it's chosen, then they go drop it off at a local restaurant that they pick to drop it off at, and each kid gets a free kids meal. So if you would like to feel like a kid again, have a one-on-one with me. I have an office in Tustin. I promise you will feel like a kid again, because it's our fulfillment center, and you'll see toys that you remember you wanting or remembering that you had. We will be having a huge event July 30th. So if any of you would like to have a table and sponsor our event, it's only $145. We'll give you a table, 2 chairs, and we'll have over 500 families at that event. So please contact us. I promise you that there is a synergy between what we do and what everybody does. And if you have kids, then I promise you, you'll love to have your kids' rooms cleaned by them asking you to give their toys away instead of you taking them, putting them in a bag, and dropping them off at Goodwill. So please let me help. Thank you.
Chris, go ahead.
Thanks for having me. Chris Relf. I'm with a search firm called Artemis Search Partners. We have a couple divisions. One specializes in contingent headhunting, so niche roles where the supply of candidates don't meet the demand. We need jobs. There's more jobs than there are people. So that's passive headhunting. And then we have a division of the staffing and permanent placement, accounting and finance division, the staffing and permanent placement, and recently also became a disabled veteran business enterprise. And I apologize ahead of time. I have a toddler and a newborn at home, and I'm pretty excited. I may have to leave.
You're welcome to take some food with you.
It's not taking.
Vijay, please.
Last but not the least, I hope. My name is Vijay Garg. I'm in the software industry for 1974. So it's about going to be 50 years in software. From Space Department to developing ERP, banking systems, and all that. About 35 years ago, I decided to do on my own because I didn't want somebody to tell me what to do. You know what I found? I found 100 people now who tell me what to do. I have my own business. Nobody tells me what to do. So that's a different phase of the picture. But coming forward, over a few years after going through all the things in the software, I realized that 80% of business systems are still on the mainframes and legacy S400s and all. The biggest problem with them is how do we comply them with the new technologies that are coming in. So that industry is heavily served by service industry. You can come there, write the code for 18 months and give you nothing after that.
Yep.
So basically conceptualize, got it develop the framework which automates your legacy systems and publish it as an API. So if you have mainframe AS400 and legacy client server system, you can take the user interface, publish as the API and integrate it and do that. That's what we're doing. I sit down and I don't want to be in the middle of something.
Yes, absolutely. So the food is here. I would probably recommend, we're going to bring the Indian bread or naan very soon. I would probably say grab your foods and we're going to start the fireside chat.
Yeah, we'll start.
Lily, you want to eat first and then do it, or
No,
you good?
let's start.
Yeah, let's start. Okay.
Because I want it to be a little bit before he goes home.
Yes, absolutely. So let's grab a seat here.
What do I do with?
Oh, there.
Oh, oh, you're gonna come. Oh, sorry.
Not me.
Smile before you.
What are the plans?
Yeah, it's like a takeaway.
Yeah, it's more fun. You always get back in the cabin. Exactly.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes.
It's okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you.
One or something.
But
You have to call the fire department.
Really?
Oh, I see. Oh, you got I know, at least she wants to. Yeah. All right. No. I'm just.
Oh, good.
Do not back up. I know, but I did. You have a lot of. Any individual stuff, man. I'll look out for you. I know.
How many bucks you want?
Give us.
What about this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Check out testimonial and everything I talked about better. All of them. Thank you.
That's actually go to the website. It's called.
Why is it running It's still running.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's on there.
There's just problems.
A lot of problems. Yes, you're in Zoom. So we're doing live streaming. So when we start the chat, please,
Can I just put it like this?
oh, we can grab a chair and put it on, but make sure we're coming in. Yeah, it's a good idea. You can try. You want to try it now?
Yeah.
Turn it upside down.
And then put it on.
I need to flip it over. Oh, it is already flipped over.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Steep it down here. I don't know if it will work this way. Yeah, get the right angle there.
The question is, would it save on this?
Can you see the inside?
I think this might not work. May not work. You can just sit and do it. Yeah, just sit from your angle. Yeah.
Hey, बदलाव करो। संजय। Sanjay, can you change it? Yeah.
So do you do events? So I was now to do. So I learned much about gifts, and we have another client that's.
Yeah,
Nice stuff.
Yeah. Oh, the owner? I know the manager. Yeah, no, it's a good question.
Like I had a purpose.
Yeah, sorry about this.
Are you gonna be doing a lot of printing at all? Of your business? Like any brochures and business
Yeah, we looked into ways we can market for right now. Target audience is gonna be a lot of social media. But also, of course, we're gonna have
So if you're gonna do any of that, I've been in for 30 plus years. I have a very unique program that I do. Here's myself.
Yeah,
So what I do is I charge you a one-time fee, like a membership fee, one-time fee. Then you get printing and cost, no tax, pickup and Postmates. So like 1,000 full color business cards, 16-point UV coated both sides, for like $20.
Oh, okay.
Like stand-up banners,
Yeah.
if you're gonna do events and stuff, it's like $68. Brochures, anything you need, printing wise, magnets, whatever you need. Promotional products, it's a one-time fee, and it's a donation to Kids Good to Kids, so it helps our but then you get our login and password as if you're working. So you go onto my brokerage site, there's no site that's going to be cheaper. In fact, right now, there's a big problem with printing. Paper shortage is insane right now. Our paper costs are so high that we were selling business but it'll go back down again one day, but whenever it does, those prices will reflect. We're in a long time. Whenever you have a soul is, what I can do is let me know because I promise you, very so, yeah, this currently actually right now, I'm working from home. But this high quality. This is not using the other side, it's black on the side. Either way, let me know where you guys look at. Okay. Just talking about our print. I do. It's cheaper than if
Okay, let's go.
Can you see?
Right down like Morris. Stand-up banners for $70. Regular banners, pop up trade. There's only like $5.
Can you? I see just.
With the yard signs. Thank you. It's all personal.
Change all the settings. You just double check.
But either way,
Change the
I'm not.
it's just like you going on, where you want.
You can see it. Oh,
You can send you the link.
okay, please.
So it's better. No one's. Sessions are every other week. So. Questions. You're fine to use it once again. There's a lot of times they take that right, they send an email out, and it comes back just with listening comments all over.
guys check with how?
It's a lot of soft skills.
Oh,
I don't just.
You couldn't click?
No, I can do it, but I need to download it.
Yeah, check that. Yeah, no.
I mean, I see you just.
You know, I don't, but I might have one. I'll be happy to send you an email with a copy of my story. Just do stake.
Very good. Yeah, very good. All right. Okay, how's the food? Food is good?
Yeah.
All right, so it gives me great pleasure. Okay, folks, if you can hear us, Vijay, starting the Fireside Chat. You guys can do your chat a little later. So it's a great pleasure to have Lily Otieno here with me. She's also the director for supply chain and diverse business enterprise for SoCal Gas. She is responsible in this role for supply chain strategy, contracting and procurement of services, material management, and supplier diversity. In this capacity, folks can sit out there. She is responsible for over 2 billion in terms of contracts signed by SoCal Gas and over 70 material distribution locations. She's a busy lady. And she continues to, more importantly, spearhead transformational projects, and advancing the mission of SoCal Gas. So she's really, focused on many areas. And I've known Lily for over 10 years through our connection at ABAOC, but, her profile is who's, but I know she has been involved in many projects in the billions nowadays, in terms of annual spend in supply management. She has served in the project management office as well earlier for SoCal Gas. And before that, she had her own consulting firm, Infinity Business Solutions, where Lily and I also worked together, in my capacity as oGoing. And we helped her on the website and some of the marketing. But, importantly, she has a great passion. What I know of Lily, she loves to work, with supply chain customers, with her clients. And even when she was in her capacity as an entrepreneur, she was hosting a lot of training classes, educational seminars on supply chain, on mastering business growth, which I remember attending back in 2014, I think. And I learned a lot from that, and I'll share a little bit from that as well later. And one of the more interesting things about her is she won the 2019 Phenomenal Women Awards by YWCA at Los Angeles. 2015, she won the Business Leader Star Award by the Women's Business Enterprise National Council. That was a big deal. 2013, the Sprint Award by the National Association of Minority Contractors of Southern California. In 2012, she was the National and Regional Supplier of the Year Award, again by the National Minority Supply Development Council. No stranger to awards for sure, but again, a lot of hard work went into it before she was recognized. And at a national level, she was a recipient of the prestigious proclamation signed by our President Barack Obama back in 2011 or 2010? 2010, yeah. And many proclamations by our own Senate and the Congress. Education is Masters of Science in Environmental Studies with policy and planning and concentration from Cal State, Fullerton. She's a local, yeah. And doing a PhD as we speak in management. Wow. Where she finds time, but she does. She enjoys spending a lot of good time with her family. I know that from our connection on Facebook and beyond. And cooking great food. Rachel Ray, have you met her yet?
No, I like the show.
Like your favorite chef, yeah. And she's quite active, with organizations like Boys and Girls Club of Buena Park, of course, ABAOC, where we connected, and Women Business Enterprise Council West. So, it's a great pleasure to have Lily here with us. I think our connection, Lily, goes beyond 10 years, but, beyond that, we feel we have some kind of a platonic connection as friends, as business community members, and through ABAOC, of course. So again, Lily, thank you for doing this event with us. I'm sure the owners here, as well as the professionals who are in attendance, folks who go all the way from, where did you enter, right from?
Ventura County.
Ventura County,
Oh my
there you go.
goodness.
So thank you, Vijay, and your wife, right? Yes, thank you for coming all the way. Glad you guys made it, so you got some hot food here for sure. So thanks for doing that, Vijay. So Lily, how's it going? It's been years. I'm glad we're meeting in person again. How's everything going? How's business? How is SoCal Gas and how is family? How's everything?
Yeah, no, everything is going fine. Of course, the pandemic happened and we had to pivot and shift and do a few different things, but you gain new muscles. You gain new appreciation for life, and I'm glad that we're still here. So for everyone who's here, you've survived the pandemic. You're still in business. A lot of businesses didn't survive the pandemic, and so you're here. So really very thankful for everyone who's here.
No, absolutely. I think everybody who is here, it is special to be here.
Yeah.
I think we all worked hard and we took care of ourselves, our health, and our families. And so it's great to see you, Lily, and thank you for being here in person. I'm glad your teammates enjoyed a little bit of it.
Yeah, no, I wanted my teammates to come. And just thinking, when you talk about working with a major corporation, and I know it's a lot of hard work. It's sometimes very difficult to get a contract, but it depends on how your business is structured, how your business has been able, the capabilities that can be transferable to working with a major corporation. So it's easy. When I was in business as a consultant, my goal was to work for a major corporation, and that's how we met Anis. Anis was with us at the ABOC board, and at that time we are outside looking in, right? You're like, oh, I wish I could work for SoCal Gas. I wish I could work for Disney. I wish I could work for this company. But the issue is not you cannot work for the company. The issue is what and how.
Mm-hmm.
So once you learn the what can you offer them? What do you have that you can offer them? And then how do you offer them that service? Because they, like you talked about, we're in your house every day. You turn on the gas, we're there. So how do you do business with us, right? We have 22 million customers in California right now, in Southern California. Our territory starts from Brasilia all the way to the border of Mexico. Wow. So 22 million customers, over 8,500 employees, spanning the entire territory. So we have storerooms all the way in that entire territory. Like Sanjay said earlier, we have 70 different storerooms, 70 different locations in this territory that we live in. Wow. And so as a customer of ours, we want to do business with you. But the question is the what and the how. And it's how you structure your business. Is it structured in a way that you can work for a major corporation, right? There are several things that happen in a major corporation versus in a small business or medium-sized business. And sometimes your business is not structured to work with a life business, right? Because of several things. One, the insurance requirements are different and they're high. So right now, for our pipeline construction contractors, who are really the highest spend category that we have, they have to hold $100 million in insurance.
Oh, wow.
So for you to come in and say, I'm a pipeline construction contractor, already there's a barrier to entry for a smaller business. But you can work in that segment by providing ancillary services. So you don't have to be welding a pipe, doing all the work with big 36-inch pipes. You can be an ancillary contractor.
Right.
So you want to learn, what else can I do outside of that barrier to entry, which is $100 million in insurance? What can I do that can be fitting for my business? So it's the how and the what that's so important. When everybody was introducing themselves today, I started thinking for myself when I was in business with you, Sanjay, and I had a class I was training, and this class that I trained was how to present your capabilities to a major corporation.
Yep.
And my goal was to help businesses, when you meet with a major corporation, how do you sell your services to them? Basically, that's what it is. How are you selling the services? And what's the connection for them? And how can you connect so that they can say, hey, we have a need for that service? So that is the key factor that really helps. I was talking to Steve just a little bit earlier, and Steve and I met in BNI. So I was in a business networking organization before. So you can start to see, for you to be successful, you need to be in an organization like oGoing. I was in BNI. I went to Clark Construction Training for 1 year, right? We went for 1 year.
Wow.
We went every single week.
1 year.
1 year learning construction. So you start to see there's a trend. There's a trend in how the business grows. Networking is key and it's so important.
Yep.
Whatever organization you have, you need to be networking. You need to be meeting other people, talking to people, learning, taking time of your day and go for training that are being offered. So it is, how do you transfer that business that you're doing today to the corporation? So when we talked about, let's say, Steve is introduced himself as a coach because he's talking to other business owners. Yep. But if he came to SoCal Gas, we will not be able to hire him as a coach, but we can hire him as a trainer. Yeah, you can come in and train other businesses that do business with SoCal Gas, right? You come to some of our trainings, Tim, and we bring in trainers who come in and do the training. So then when you come in and do that, then they see your capability, then you become on their bench. But it's a process to get there.
No, it's amazing. And we want to talk a little bit more on that. But before we get there, quick, your journey to the US started from abroad, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe share a quick few minutes. How did you get the opportunity to pursue this American dream? A lot of us are living that. And later on, you became an entrepreneur yourself when you and Steve were connected, and we'll come full circle, but a quick update on that. Yeah.
No, so my journey is interesting because, so in Kenya at that time when I went to school many moons ago, right? You were required to go to the military first before you went to university. It was mandatory. So when I finished high school, there's no choice. You're going to the military. So I went to the military. Really, really loved it. I was just, this is the dream. It's easy work. What we do, we just wake up in the morning, you run. You exercising all day, standing in the sun, learning also. It was the toughest thing I've ever done, by the way. It was so hard. I couldn't believe it.
It was military in the Kenya.
Yes. Okay. I couldn't believe that your body actually adjusts, right? Once you start doing this, your body adjusts. Anyway, I graduated, and once you graduate, you serve the country, and therefore you're allowed to go to university at no cost. So that was your duty to the country. You go to the military, serve the country. When you finish your duty, then you can go to university and you don't have to pay any fees, which I thought is great, which you should do here in the US. But so when I finished, we were the first group of women to be admitted to a university, which was somewhere in the Rift Valley. If you know Kenya, that's maybe like 2-hour drive going into the southern side.
Wow.
So we were the first women admitted there. And being the first women students, at that time, US government had given a moratorium to the government of Kenya. And when I said this, sometimes people misinterpret what the US government does in international relationships.
Yep.
It actually, depending on what it is, it actually really helps. And so for Kenya, the US government had given the Kenya government a moratorium. If you don't allow girls to go to university, we are stopping aid to Kenya.
Wow.
So that's how I ended up going to university, because now there was more money, there was no opportunity, and we had a big opportunity for women to go to university. So there we were, first women students admitted. And so there were so many US representatives coming to the school.
Yeah.
The USAID was there trying to figure out what's happening. So with that all happening, the USAID people decided to take the top 5 women students and bring them to the US for further education. So I was very lucky to be among those top 5 women students.
Wow.
And then, but yeah, I went to Cal State Fullerton.
That's an incredible journey. I mean, that's reminds me of my father when he came here in 57. He came from India and he had applied to the Rotary Foundation, you know, Rotary, they do a lot of services.
Yeah.
So back then in India, they used to give 2 awards. All of India, only 2 awards. And he was one of the 2, you know, as a scholar. He had stood first in the exams in his state in Gujarat. And he came to Stanford in 57.
Nice.
So similar story, different ways.
Different ways, yeah.
Yeah, but that's awesome. Wow, I did not know that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
The rest is history.
the rest is history.
Well, in the Kenyan military, you know, over here they have branches, Navy, Air Force, things like that. Do they have those in
Yeah.
Kenya? Which one were you in?
In the
Army, okay.
that's why me and Manny are good friends.
Yeah. So fast forward, you were an entrepreneur. A lot of us knew you back then. Did a lot of great things at IBS, Infinity Business Solutions. Yeah, I remember that. And now you are at SoCal Gas as a director. I mean, what do you do? What is the role encompass? I mean, if you give us a high level view, and what is a day, look like in your life today? It's must be busy. I can see that.
Yeah. Just to break it down in different chunks. So
Yeah.
And I started at SoCal Gas. I will tell you, I came in at SoCal Gas with Jacobs Engineering.
Yep.
Jacobs Engineering was one of the prime contractors for SoCal Gas, and I was a sub. So my company was a sub to Jacobs. So it's important to come in. If you can't come in as a prime, come in as a sub. You're still making money.
Yep.
So I came in as a sub with Jacobs, and when we came in, the project was a $1.5 billion construction infrastructure upgrade project for SoCal Gas, which was called the pipeline safety. It was really looking at upgrading the pipeline infrastructure and also modernizing the valves. So I came in with them at that project, worked with them, and my role was to bring in companies for SoCal Gas. So for Jacobs. So they had what we call the vast business enterprise goal, and they had to meet that goal. So I worked with Jacobs and helped them bring in diverse companies who were going to be considered their subs. So SoCal Gas is very, very strict on the contracts. Every contract we write, the prime has to have subcontractors.
Yeah.
So all the time, look for the prime in your area.
So SoCal Gas asked the prime to bring in subcontractors.
Yeah. So
Are they restrictions like 100 million insurance, are they the similar
No,
for subcontractors or much less?
no, that's why you come in as a sub.
Oh,
Because the subcontractors will not have that
They don't have
$100 million
Got it.
insurance. You will have to have insurance. Your company will still have to have
sure,
insurance,
sure.
but not that. No,
Not
not 100 million, because those slowdowns don't go
Okay,
to the subs.
all right.
So you come in. I came in as a sub for the Jacobs Engineering,
Yep.
and we did a lot of work. I did a lot of work as a sub for Jacobs, different projects. But then eventually the director at SoCal Gas said, hey,
We know you.
yeah, would you be able to work for us? And I had been in the PMO office for Jacobs, and so I came into SoCal Gas as the PMO manager for the same project.
Yeah,
So I was the PMO manager for SoCal Gas for
Yeah.
the same project, PSAP, which is one of their
Yeah.
large infrastructure projects.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended
So-
up.
How do we know how we can be a sub? Do we go call companies who are primes of SoCal Gas? Is that public knowledge, or how do we do that?
I don't know if I don't think it's not public knowledge,
Okay.
but what we do is we have Meet the Primes. We
Meet
have
the primes.
Meet the Primes Day,
Okay,
where our prime contractors come in
Yeah.
and meet the business owners that want to do business with them.
got it.
So if you're in construction, environmental, engineering, business services, IT, we have a Meet the Prime Day.
Yep.
And then we also have a vendor summit,
Nice.
which we have once a year. We haven't had it because of COVID, but
Yeah,
we usually have a face-to-face vendor summit where
Yeah.
we invite, invitation is for all vendors to come in.
yeah,
You register, you come in, and this is a very good opportunity to meet the primes, meet the teams at SoCal Gas. So I tell people, these are the three things that you need to know. You need to know three types of people. One is a contract agent, right?
Okay.
The person who actually drafts that contract.
all right.
That's called a contract agent or contract advisor or procurement agent, or whatever the name is, but somebody who writes a contract.
Okay.
The second person is the supplier diversity person.
Yep.
So the two people that came here,
Yep.
you have to know them, because when a contract agent is looking to go out for RFP or for procurement, they will go to the
Yep.
diversity people and say, give me names of companies that do X.
Right,
So that's a really good contact. The
Yeah.
supply diversity person also, if you're a small business, they will go to the procurement team and say, you know what, this company cannot wait 60 days to be paid. We need to change their T's and C's for 15 days.
right.
So there's also that negotiation that they do on their behalf, because for a small business, we pay them in 15 days. We don't pay you 60 days as large business.
That's
So
good.
there's that opportunity for you to make cash flow faster because you're small. And then the third person you need to know is actually the technical user, the actual person who is using that service.
Right.
So for example, in engineering, you need to know the engineering managers, the structural engineer. We have a number of different engineering trades. I think we have civil, structural, we have aviation, we have so many other things that you need to know that person. So for facilities, you need to know the facilities project managers, you need to know those people. So 3 people that you need to always have a relationship with for you to be able to move your business forward and keep your business top of mind. So those.
Can I ask questions now or should I wait for?
If it's something pressing, go ahead.
It is very relevant. So
Okay.
these 3 people belong to the
SoCal
gas
Gas,
company.
Yes.
They all work for SoCal Gas.
But we, as a small business owner, you said that you don't need to necessarily work for the SoCal because you're so small, right?
Yeah.
So I have to work for the prime, right?
Yeah.
So knowing these people, would it be helpful to me because I need to know people in the prime, right?
You still need to know them because we have procurement events that don't even go to primes. So depending on the dollar value, anything under $75,000, I don't have to bid. So if your business, if you're a small business and you got a contract for the contract agent,
Yep.
and she doesn't have to bid it or he doesn't have to bid it, you still get work. So you still need to know both both,
Yeah.
both the company employees and the primes, if you can get it any other way.
But if I can get a project related to SoCal, then I have to have $1 million required.
No, not
No, that's not
always.
true.
Not
Depends
always,
on the
yeah.
type.
Depends on the type. So that 100 million is
For the
for
pipes.
pipeline construction. No, you don't. What is your insurance level? 5 million, 3 million, 1 million. So 135.
So Lily is alluding to this program. It's called the diversity program. It caters to the small businesses who are less than 5 million and 25 employees. Last year, SoCal Gas spent over $60 million with this business. So, and the different areas were engineering, design, construction, transportation, technology, so on. So one become a part of that. So maybe
Yeah.
that's a good place for some of us to begin, yeah?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we spent $60 million last year alone
Yeah.
with small companies.
Yeah.
And that is something very significant. In that program, which is called the Smaller Contractor Opportunity Realization Effort, it's called SCORE program.
SCORE, yes.
Yes, it is really geared to bring in small companies, pilot programs, and then you're now able to stand on your own, then now you have to bid.
Right.
So we have procurements that you don't have to bid. We just pilot program with you. You of course go through the vetting process. They look at everything. And if you check, your business checks out, then there's a pilot program you can start on the pilot side. Also, we have procurements that we bid that under $650,000 that you can also bid for smaller companies. There's some procurements that we only go for the diverse businesses only. So it just depends on the mix and the work that is needed at that time. So there's so many opportunities, there's so many layers to getting a contract. There's no one single way.
Is there a point person for the SCORE program?
This
Same folks who are here? There you go, guys. So make sure you sync up with Ann and Jay.
Yeah.
So these certifications, right? Small business certification, minority owned certification, are they mandatory, useful? What is your opinion about them?
Mandatory.
Mandatory, right?
If you don't have them, we're not even talking. Yes.
That's good to know.
You have to start with having certification with the CPUC. We only require one
Yes.
in our company. We
CPUC.
only require the California Public Utility Commission certification. But if we look at the federal designation, SWSB, 8A, we look at those, but the CPUC.
So what opportunities we have in technology area?
Say that again?
Technology, in technology, what opportunities, like how?
We'll come to that. Pawan,
So do you just need small business, or do you also need disadvantaged business or DBE or MBE? You're looking at all of them, or just SEEs typically?
No, we look at all of them. So we measure ourselves on every single level: minority business, woman-owned, Hispanic-owned, Asian-owned, disabled veteran-owned, LGBT, Native American. So we look at all those designations. We also look at 8A, all the federal designations, and we also do some federal contracting.
And for small business, all you're looking at the CPUC, but not GGS or any other agency.
Metro is a CPUC certified, right?
No.
So Metro is not. Metro takes
is not.
DGS.
Yeah. Metro is Metro. Metro is just state.
Yes.
Yes, state.
CPUC, I believe there are 8 agencies under that. SoCal Gas is one of them, I think.
So CPUC is the California Public Utility, is run under what we call supplier clearing house.
Yes.
And the CPUC, and it's simple. It's like the Metro certification. And once you get your name in there, your links code in there, everybody will be looking for your company. We go to that website every other day to look for businesses in different mix codes to invite them to apply.
Which website is that?
CPUC. I'll send you the link.
We'll send you the link later.
Another question is, do you actually help companies become certified? Like Caltrans is a program that they actually help small businesses get certified.
No, we don't, because we have that entity, supplier clearinghouse, that will help you.
Okay.
So it's under the CPUC, so you go to them, they will be able to help you. Oh, it's going off. It's moving down.
We are moving, yes. Very good. So,
Sanjay, the enrollment program for CPUs is actually very simple.
Yeah.
It's the most time-consuming part of it is gathering your information together.
okay,
It's going to be like your tax returns, your corporate statements, your statement of information. That is time-consuming, but once you have all the documents, and in my case, my father was from Mexico,
yeah,
so they required his birth certificate from Mexico as well as my mother's,
yeah.
things like that, just to prove that you are
Yeah.
the diversified group that you fit into. But the process is easy.
So once you're in, then you don't have, you have to renew every year, right? Something
Yeah.
like
Every 3 years.
Every
now,
3 years.
But you have to submit the same documents every time.
that. Gone, okay? Technology, are there a lot of projects on tech side? How's that
So-
going?
Interesting, right? So previous to this job, I was the Technology Intelligence Policy Solutions Manager for SoCal Gas.
Okay, perfect.
So,
Right person.
so technology right now with all the cyber is a big part of our technology solutions. We do a lot of softwares. I don't know who was introducing themselves. I think it's you. We talked about mainframes and people APS.
Yeah.
We are converting now to cloud services. So there's a lot of conversion that's happening in a lot of our areas. Technology, ITQA is a lot. We actually use a company out of India for our ITQA services. We have a lot of service requests where you get a project and you want to finish that project. We have, we use a lot of SharePoint, so we use a lot of SharePoint experts. We have a lot of legacy solutions that we've had for many years, 30 years, and now we are converting everything to newer technology, newer solutions.
Great.
Technology, a lot of the big companies, right? Mainly the companies, the solutions that we get, but they are also required to subcontract. But you can also come as a technology solution provider if you have a niche skill set. We look for SAP. We use the name just document solution software. Now I can't just remember the name. No, I will remember.
Laserfish.
No, I'll remember and I'll tell you. But we have a lot of solutions. Our distribution system is thousands and thousands of miles. We use iPhones, we use iPads, we use tablets. They use so many solutions and they're all aging. So there's a lot of work in upgrading and doing that.
So is
technology
that for a direct contractor or the technology side, do we need?
On technology side, you do need to partner with the big names, right?
You do.
We use Microsoft, we use all those. But there's also technology solutions for smaller jobs like SharePoint management. Like if you have a person, we hire a lot of people, like a person who can provide SAP solutions, an expert in SAPs, an expert in certain technological solution. Then that person comes in as a contractor and helps with some of the work.
Excellent.
So how do we know, like, how do we approach them to start with some?
The 3 people.
3 people.
It all boils down to the 3 people.
Is there for subcontractors who are still small, is there like some kind of I know SoCal Gas used to host educational
Yeah, we still
seminars.
do that.
You do that, okay.
So the most important thing today is I have your contact. I
Yeah.
will get to the office and I'll give this all to our contracts person and they'll put them in our system. So you'll get invited to some of the training activities. If you get invited to the training, please come because you will get not only, it's usually very small groups like this.
Yes.
You'll get opportunity to talk to other people in the company. You'll get opportunity to know other people you'll get opportunity to reach out to somebody else other than myself. So you have a community and a network of people you can reach out to.
Yeah, I remember I got a certificate mastering business growth from SoCal Gas, and I think I knew a few of things, but they taught me the financial side really well, like things like cash flow, net profits and margins, and believe me, that knowledge was useful much later on, but it was very useful in projecting future cash flows and things like that. So that education is really strong, and definitely welcome everybody should join that when you get an opportunity.
Yeah.
And you get a certificate that you can brag about.
Right, exactly.
Free, and it's all free.
And it's all.
Yeah. So coming back to what are some new areas in terms of projects, something exciting that some of us can think about or look forward to?
So think about this way. SoCal Gas, we almost do everything everybody here has talked about, right? We'll do construction, we do engineering, structural, we do technology, we do gifts, we do training, we do applications, right? So we basically do everything that everyone here has said. The question is, how do you take that knowledge and sell it to a SoCal Gas person? How do you make that transferable to somebody that you need to do business with at a SoCal Gas level in a meaningful way? So you need to be able to have a capability statement. Sanjay, we've done this years and years and years.
Coming back to it.
Yeah. You need to have a capability statement. And if you don't have a capability statement, honestly, we can't even start a conversation. We want you to develop a capability statement. And the capability statement is really a summary of your business. It will have the name of your company, your contact information, your certifications, your current clients, if you have them, a little bit about the scope of work that you have, and then references if you want to, or something else. Sanjay is very well versed in this, and Sanjay should
be happy to help all of you.
And give them that template. There's a template that I used to train and I used to offer. You should get that template for free. Just have your information on it and send it to us when you send me an email. Because internally, we take that capability statement and it's on our internal SharePoint. And anybody in the business can go in and say, hey, I want to do business. I want to talk to this company. You may get a call without even anybody in my team knowing you got a call. So you really need to have.
Reach out to me if you want a sample of that. Be happy to share.
Yeah.
But don't send her anything until you have that. or any of our members on the team, because they want to see that.
Yes, they will want to see
they
that.
They want to see it. Yeah.
So that's kind of how you start. You start those relationships. The second thing is we're a public utility company, right? We work for all of you. Anybody doesn't have gas in their house? Who doesn't have gas? See? We all work for you. So we file every single year, not single year, every 3 to 5 years, we file what we call a general rate case. And we file it to the CPUC because CPUC is our regulator. We file this huge document, pages and pages and pages of information, and it's on the CPUC website, telling everyone, the CPUC, for the next 5 years, these are the projects that SoCal Gas is going to be working on. Public information.
Awesome.
If you are serious about your business, you will go to the CPUC website, download it for SoCal Gas, download it for Edison, download it for PG&E, all the Southwest Gas, all the utilities in California are required and mandated to do this. So go online, spend time reviewing. And when you get the document, you don't have to read every single thing. Google, put this on the search, right? Right now we know how to search. Search keywords, put IT, put technology, put software, and these things will come up. So make time to review that. And it's not just utilities, it's also AT&T, Verizon, the water companies, the railway, everybody that's regulated by California Public Utility Commission files this document. So that's how you know what we're working with. Savvy businesses, those multi-billion-dollar companies, they have a person who just downloads our documents and regurgitates it back to us.
Yep.
They know exactly what's
Oh,
coming.
so they
up.
know exactly what you're looking for, and they come offering you that.
Yes, because they know.
They know.
So
Yeah.
you need to be savvy business owner,
Yeah.
know what we're buying, know what is happening.
A similar document on your website is supplier diversity.
Annual report.
It's an annual report, beautiful document. It's about 20, 30 pages, but every page has so much information. I think if you learn that and just read that when you have an hour or two to spare, that will kind of give you a whole sense of our department and where things are going, and maybe you can share more of that as well.
Yeah, so our annual, we file this annually. Again, we are regulated utility. We file this annually with the CPUC, and we tell the CPUC everything we did. You saw when Jay came and said, let's take a picture because I want to put it on the annual report. Because we want to show the regulators that we're good citizens as well. We're reaching out to our small businesses. We're reaching out to the community. I am happy to come to these events to support, talk to somebody, encourage you. And then you will be spotlighted on our annual report. I got a company, engineering firm that I brought to SoCal Gas. Now they're a multi-million-dollar, they're probably $500 million company for the last 10, 12 years. They've just grown and grown and grown. And in our last year's annual report, they were featured. So
it can happen.
It can happen.
One of us could be looking at $500,000 tanks.
No, don't say that because
I'm not holding you. I'm just saying.
But they're not doing just with us.
No, I know.
So that business is not just SoCal Gas. They've gotten PG&E. They've gotten
course.
San Diego. They are getting AT&T.
But with your reference, right? Once you're in and
Yeah.
you got a great reference.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
And just do the best work that you can. And be very transparent, be very clear about your scope of work and focus on your scope of work. Don't start saying, oh, I can do that too. Some things that most businesses make a mistake.
Yes.
They want to do everything. Just focus on your scope of work and do a really good job because that's really the passion that you went into business for.
Yeah, like I think when I heard Pawan, he spoke very clearly on what he can do.
Yes.
And look at all your buildings and come in and get them, to the core. So that's very narrow, but I love that focus.
Yeah.
Very niche. Very niche, but no, it makes sense.
Yeah, you can work with the facilities team and see where they are. Another big thing is sustainability. Right now, SoCal Gas announced last year about our ambition, which we call Aspire 2045. Our ambition as a company for net zero emissions, right? So
for SoCal Gas.
SoCal Gas. So we are really working towards that ambition. Yep. We are looking at all our suppliers. We're turning every stone to make sure we are getting this go. So between now and 2045, we have a lot of things we're doing. We're also looking at hydrogen, supplementing with infrastructure with hydrogen. We announced about Angela's Leap as a new project. So people who are into any of this is their time to look and see where can my company fit in. We have hydrogen, we have sustainability work that we all have to get into. So give us your ideas because sometimes we don't know or we don't have the best idea. So if you have an idea, great idea, let us know too.
That's great. Those are some new areas at SoCal Gas. I think you shared one of the successes of a contractor that came in and they've grown really well. So it's really possible. I think you answered the question about being a subcontractor, how to come in as a subcontractor. I think it's about networking and building the right relationship and going to the prime day. Make sure you do that. Go ahead.
One question I had was, do you actually refer subs to the primes? The primes actually talk and say we need a good sub. Do you actually refer them?
No, yes, every day. So a day in my life. I don't think I talked about it.
Well, yeah, day in your life. There's more to it.
There's more to it. So we have major procurement events, right? When we're procuring an EPC contract right now, $300, $500 million, one contract. Those, when we're going out for that, we actually facilitate the meetings with subs. We have a day where we are facilitating just introductions. So you come in, the primes are sitting in a room, you present your capabilities, you give them your information, and we have so many success stories from that. Because we actually work with you prior to going to meet with the prime to make sure you're ready to meet with the prime. So we do have those relationships that we refer. When a contract is when an RFP is going out to bid, they have to ask our DBE team to provide them names of DBE firms that they need to include in that procurement. So there's already a process in place of bringing in DBE companies and into our procurement.
DBE,
diverse business enterprises. So we generalize all of the categories by just calling them diverse business enterprises. So we just say DBE companies. And it's really interesting when you start to see we have over last year, we have over 577 DBE companies who now are prime.
Oh, so they moved. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're
That's
now
awesome.
prime.
So you start and you can move up quickly.
You can move up to become a prime. You don't stay as a sub. Once you start doing good work and the next RFP comes in, you've already seen an RFP, right? You have experienced how that looks like. So the next time it comes around, you are there.
Last year, SoCal Gas spent close to $1 billion on 577 small businesses, businesses. Yeah, so I mean, it's possible, right? I mean, you got to get in the game, though. And I think Lily has shared a lot of good ideas on how we get in the game.
Yeah.
Right. So, questions?
And our goal this year is 43%.
43 this year. Wow.
And next year, 2025 is 45% with diverse businesses.
This is success rate, like it's out of 10 subs approaching. How many can be done?
I don't have a number, but I know the primes are required to have. So in our contracts, we have a provision, we have a schedule which is called a DB schedule. You have to complete that as a prime. And you have to say, I'm going to work with XYZ company. My projection right now is $1 million with them. Another one is 2 million. So my total DBE subcontracting is 38%, 40%, and so forth.
So not everyone gets the question.
Not everyone gets it, but it takes time. So another thing, that question that I wanted to say is that how long does it take? Our procurement cycles are pretty long, right? So when we have a contract in place, it's 3 years minimum with 2 years options of renewal. And sometimes, like with this COVID happened, we went another 2 years. So that made it 7 years of a contract with us in any of the areas. So when we have that scope of work is pretty much locked in. Yes.
Is that for MSA?
Yeah.
It's for an MSA, right?
Yeah.
So once you're in the game,
An MSA.
What is MSA?
That's Master Services Agreement.
Okay.
A Master Services Agreement is really when we negotiate with your company, we negotiate the terms and conditions, we negotiate the provisions of the contract, we negotiate the rates, we negotiate DBE subcontract. So now you have a certificate to go hunting. So any job that comes in, they write it out of that Master Services Agreement. So a lot of companies always try to go for the MSA because it is open. It's a 7-year, 5-year open procurement process.
Yeah. Good. I'm sorry. When an RFP comes out and you're getting bids from DBEs and non-DBEs, is there any difference when it comes to the based on dollars? Is it weighted somehow?
Yeah, there's definitely a scoring criteria that's weighted in favor of DBE companies.
And how long after an RFP closes would we find out whether or not we were awarded the contract?
That depends, because it just depends on how long the team or the availability of the business to score the contract. And we do not typically we will not tell the the companies that didn't win the contract until we have a contract with one person. So sometimes it takes a long time. It takes 3 months, it may take 4, 5, 6 months because we're probably in negotiations with that company and making sure we finish that, because what if that company, the negotiations don't go through, right? So we have plan B. So we don't tell you about plan B until we get the plan A done.
Is it helpful for us to go back to the requester and ask them for an update?
Yes, every time.
Okay.
Every time you don't win a contract, please request one for a debrief. Request for a debrief, like just like the government. Request for a debrief, because that's where you learn what you didn't do well, and this will help you the next time around.
Are your contracts based on price or they're based on qualifications?
They're based on value.
They're based on value.
Good.
I'm not an engineering, I'm from the business point of view.
Yeah.
If I want to get, meaning the Richard Nixon Foundation, if I want to get some kind of contract or have a yearly event or something that you host for the venue of the foundation, how do I go about it?
Same process. So if you want to get a contract,
It's not a contract, it's more of
so if you
having a.
yeah, if you want me to, if you come to me and say, I have the Richard Nixon facility, it offers this amenities for your next corporate function, you can do it at my event. So that's not a contract.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, so it's not an RFP.
It's a capability.
It's just, we're going to have a conversation. You give me your pricing, you agree, we have an event. But we do have approved vendors for that. So we need to know your facility. I haven't even heard about it. That's what I was asking you. Where? So, and then when you said Richard Nixon, I'm like, I know Richard Nixon. So, yeah, so that's how it's done.
Second, you got to get into the list, the vendor database.
Yeah, how do I go about it?
The 3 people. There's no partiality for anybody.
Yeah.
You said that there were already some approved contracts with people, right? Like
Vendors.
you said on the value part of it.
For the vendors.
Okay, so now, does that mean that you don't consider new ones?
No, we do all the time. So like catering, all the time. You know, we do this every time. So once you get in, we get your license, we get all that stuff.
Well, that's actually a good question. So this 577 businesses you had last year, suppliers on the DBE. Next year, let's say another 500. Are they the same or they'll be different?
Could be both.
Could be a combination. But do you think about like, let's start bringing new companies?
Yeah, so I have a goal every single year to bring in new companies.
Yes.
Every single year.
There you go.
Every single year, the number goes up. Every single year. Our KPIs, key performance indicators, are very clear.
Yeah.
How many African American new companies, not the same ones, new. How many Native American? How many LGBT? So all this. So, and it's not just DBE, it's very
Within
specific
DBE.
within each
Share
specific
your own numbers
category.
internally.
Yeah, so I do need to get new vendors every single year.
Awesome.
So we are a managed IT service and cybersecurity provider, right? Do you see any opportunities or what kind of opportunities can I get?
Technology, you just said.
But technology is a very broad term.
Not so.
I started by saying cyber.
She started with cyber.
Yeah.
She started with cyber.
Okay.
You missed that.
So there are opportunities, right?
But it's also, I think you have to figure out what, you have to go and look at the documents, see what do they need. and tailor
I
your
think
service
the
according to
opportunities,
that.
I believe there is a portal where everything
Yeah,
goes
so
there
you,
first.
you,
right?
I'm not an IT, so I wouldn't be able to provide you like very good specifics on what that is, but we know cyber is a big deal right now. We have a lot of cyber issues that are happening, so I'm sure in an introduction to our IT group. And our IT group is very, very good at making sure they have DBE because IT can be consumed by large companies only. So they're very good at looking for DBE funds as well.
Okay, so we have 2 more questions because we got to be. Go ahead, sir.
You go, man.
You have not had a question, go ahead.
Who the MSA is currently, is that public record?
No, because we are public, we're not a public agency. So the prime contractors usually have an MSA.
So we have to wait till you came back with meet the prime.
And you don't just get an MSA. The MSA process, you have to go through an RFP. Once you go through an RFP and you're qualified, then you get an MSA. And sometimes, even though big companies, we don't give them an MSA. We give them what we call an SSA, Standard Services Agreement, just for that one project.
One last question. You can always meet Lily afterwards.
So is there a situation where you can foster a relationship with a large prime and a smaller company, like a mentor protege?
So we will not arrange a mentor protege for you, but if you have a mentor protege relationship where you have a prime and a large, you can come together and present your capabilities together.
So one question for me, and you are welcome to talk to Lily afterwards. Lily, this is great. Loved all your insights. I mean, business, I can see Naveen getting up quickly. No, but where do you see yourself, Lily, in 5 years? I know you're already in a great position at SoCal Gas. I mean, this is not trying to put you on the spot here, but what's the future for Lily?
You know, I always say this. I didn't even know I was gonna work at SoCal Gas. It was not in my wildest dreams, right?
Yeah.
And the opportunity presented itself, and and it is one of those things that I really wanted to learn, to be on the inside. So I've been in your shoes. I know how hard it is to get business.
Yeah.
And when I saw I have this opportunity to learn how to be on the inside and help other businesses, that was really my joy, because now I can help you with real concrete help. I can really be helpful, and I can really be open and transparent and tell you, you know what, not at this moment. Not everyone will get a contract with us now.
Right.
And now when we say no, don't take it no. It's just not now.